Have a look at these absolute idiots.
£2 billion invested in weapons proliferation, apartheid, and the colonization of Palestine.
Now, if you're anything like me, these young adults, because that's what they are, they're pretty much children really, aren't they? But I suppose you call them young adults. Well, they really get on my two bob bits, but I'm slowly coming to the conclusion that actually, do you know what? We should feel sorry for them. They are actually victims themselves. They're victims of child or state abuse. And I'm going to tell you why.
Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
Now, at the end of the day, these young adults, these children, for want of a better expression, they weren't born this way. They have learned what they are spouting. They have been taught to hate. Now, when you look at the demographics of the groups that we're looking at this afternoon or this evening, there are people that were clearly born here, people that were clearly not born here. Many of them are indigenous Brits. Many of them were born here to parents that came here to live.
Shut it down! Occupation! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down! Shut it down!
Now, the first question I've got is, why would you bring your family and to the UK, have children here, settle here, and then bring your children up to hate the country that they chose to come and live in? That's not the fault of the child, but the parents have obviously educated him in a way to be anti-British and anti-Western. Now, if that's the way the parents wanted to bring these kids up, they should have goddamn stayed where they are, because what they've done is they have abused their children in their upbringing. Then you've got the homegrown numpties, and there are plenty of them. Well, what's gone wrong in their life to have the views that they have and to spout the hatred that they're spouting? Well, again, it could be from the parents, but I think that's mostly unlikely. It's mostly coming from the universities, the schools and the colleges.
They've deployed the umbrellas.
Where's the front?
Child abuse, again, this is unquestionable. This is not a if or a but or a maybe. These kids have been, without question, politically indoctrinated at school. That is abuse. The job of any school is to educate our children, not to indoctrinate them. Kids from all backgrounds should be allowed to come to their own political conclusions through their life experience. So when I look at these hard left groups that are basically made up of kids, young adults, what you're actually seeing is a breakdown of society and mental abuse from either the home or through the education. And that's sad. That's very unfortunate, not only for the nation, but it's unfortunate for those that have fell victim to it. Now, I'm fully aware of the old saying, when you're young, if you're not on the left, you haven't got a heart. When you're older, if you're not on the right, you haven't got a brain, right? We all know that saying. But the bottom line is, these kids are old enough, many of them are old enough to know exactly what they are doing, the causes they are getting behind, and why they're getting behind them. And I believe most of it is coming from either the homes or the schools. Now, if it's coming from the homes, if you look at one or two particular people that feature in this video, it's quite clear where their indoctrination has come from. It's come from their parents. I say, kick those parents out, because they've come here to teach their children to hate the United Kingdom and our way of life. That's what they've been taught. They've been brought up to hate. Where have we seen that before? And it's the same with the colleges, the schools and the universities who are producing, I was going to say hundreds, but it's thousands upon thousands of hard left, pro-Hamas supporting, brainwashed idiots.
Fuck you.
You harass women!
Ideology.
Fuck you!
So, lady,
They shouldn't be allowed.
You're on camera.
that's my property, my friend. Pardon? I think we should stay here just to see what happens. Well, this is fun. Well, I honestly think that if they're just going to do this, I think it's fine. Well, listen, I'm not going to fall into intimidation. If it is literally just a couple of ballied students, I'm not going to do anything physically. However, I can handle it. You're legitimizing this understanding that they can just do this. I think you're stepping on my property, so I would ask that you don't do that. But look, the low IQ chimps, the ones that are unfortunately, you know...
Please do not call people that.
Well, don't protest the speaking event. For the intimidating woman with a belly on, do you want to speak on why... Yes.
The one you're talking
Fascists off of campus.
Be a traditional man instead of being afraid of women.
Pardon? Well, this is good fun. Section 14 of the Public Order Act. So not dispersing during a protest, and it was given a no further action.
Doxer and you harass women.
How am I a doxer? What women have I harassed? Find me the woman. What woman have I harassed?
I knew
Pardon?
you were an incel.
That is my real name. That was just a stage name I used to go by. But my real name is very publicly open to the public. I've said it on many occasions. My name is Gregory Thomas Mackay Moffat. But I go by Young Bob.
We're trying to do.
So look, and get NFA'd again. So look, I'm not trying to be petty here. It seems like you are. I'm just trying to engage in a genuine discussion.
We do not engage with Nazis. We do not engage with fascists. Fascists of our campus.
Why?
Fascists of our campus. We do not engage with fascists. Keep the distance.
Yeah, I'll try to.
Well, the authorities, instead of sending Prevent and the anti-terror unit round to normal, everyday, regular people that just love their country, they should be visiting these schools and asking the question, why is your college or your school or your university, why is it producing so many radicals? Well, it's producing so many radicals because it's radicals that are teaching them in the goddamn first place. This has to end, because without a complete root and branch clear out in our schools and universities, our youngsters have no chance. You know, I said in a video the other day, and took a little bit of stick for it, but I stand by every goddamn word, that our younger generation haven't got the backbone to save our country. And why would they have the backbone when they've been taught to hate it in the first place? Why would you fight for anything that you don't love? Why is it always the older generation, people of my age and younger obviously, that would be willing to fight for our nation? Well, that's because we were brought up to love our country. It's not rocket science, is it? It's not hard to work out. Schools and universities, the absolute bane of our society right now. All of these people detest our country, they detest our way of life, and they certainly detest me and you. Why? Well, because we don't want our kids to grow up among a culture and a society that we don't recognise. What a crime, eh? So these useful idiots that we see time and time again, and probably sit there spitting feathers at the TV watching their idiotic chants, their pathetic face masks, and their even more pathetic support for a country that they know nothing about, a cause that they know nothing about, and a people who would probably kill them in the first place. Nah, they haven't got a goddamn clue, but it isn't actually their fault. These people have had their identities stolen from them. They are nobodies going nowhere in life. They never will go anywhere in life. They are going to rot in society because they reject the society that they live in. So maybe it's time that they got a bit of a break and that we treated them with the contempt and the laughter and the ridicule that they actually deserve.